so long. I've been sleeping all alone. Lord, I miss you. I've been hanging by the phone, sleeping all alone. I won't kiss you sometime. Ooh, 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 yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I've been humming in my sleep, I've been snoring in my dreams. Lord, I miss you. I've been hanging out in the hall, waiting for your call when the phone rings. Just some friends of mine saying, hey, what's the matter, man? Gonna come around 12 with some Puerto Rican girls just dying to meet you. Gonna drink a case of wine. Yeah, we're gonna mess and fool around like we used to. I've been walking Central Park, sleeping after dark. People think I'm crazy. Walking through the street, shuffling my feet, asking me, what's the matter with you, boy? Sometimes I won't sing. Sometimes I won't sing to myself. Sometimes I sing, ooh, 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 yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, I'm just lying to myself. It's just you and no one else, Lord. I miss you, child. You've been haunting all my schemes and fucking with my dreams, Lord. I miss you, baby, yeah, yeah. Say, I miss you, child. I miss you, child. I miss you, baby, yeah, yeah. Say, I miss you, child. I miss you, child. I miss you, baby, yeah. Oh, baby, why you waiting so long? Oh, baby, why you waiting so long? Won't you come on, come on? How you doing, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Hanging with Hastings. Today we are celebrating the career and the music of the Rolling Stones, one of my favorite all-time bands. We kicked off the episode with the song from one of my favorite Rolling Stone albums, which was Some Girls, and of course their big single, Miss You. Today's going to be a fun episode. I believe the Rolling Stones just had such a huge impact on my life, on music that I wrote and bands that I played in. We used to joke in Hastings band that we were the Buffalo version of the Rolling Stones, because we were just gruffy and we made loud music, loud rock and roll music. And hey, if you want somebody to copy on stage, there's no better frontman ever in the history of rock and roll than Mick Jagger, of course. So we're gonna delve into some of the songs from the Rolling Stones, and we'll get it going right now with one that I hope you guys like. It's one of my favorites, and of course a huge anthem by the Stones. This is Honky Tonk Woman. I miss her, she's a ballroom queen in Memphis. She tried to take me upstairs for a ride. She tried to heave me right across the shoulder, and I just can't seem to drink you off my mind. It's a honky tonk women. Give me the honky tonk blues. I listen
Divorcee right here in New York City. I tried to put up some kind of a fight. Later on she covered me with roses. She blew my nose and then she blew my mind. It's a honky tonk women. Give me the honky tonk blues. Woo! It's a honky tonk women. Give me the honky tonk blues. Woo!
Mick Jagger and Keith Richards knew each other as children, and they grew up loving the music, and they were both big blues fans. And as they aged and they started forming their band together, the Rolling Stones, when they were in infancy, when they were a young band, they were more blues based than anything else. And back in those days, and you're talking about the very early '60s, a lot of the bands didn't write their own music. And the Stones were more like that. They covered a lot of the blues artists of the time. Howling Wolf was a huge influence on them. Of course, Muddy Waters is where they got their name, was from the song Mannish Boy, when it said, "I'm a Rolling Stone," and that's where they got their name. So they were more of a blues-based band. But then, as the Beatles were writing their own songs, and Bob Dylan was writing their own songs, his own songs, they decided that they had to also start writing their stuff. And of course, they wrote the great songs right from the very beginning. But the one song that really put them over and really set them apart, I believe, in the early days, was a song called "Satisfaction."
I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction, but I try and I try and I try and I try. I can't get no when I'm driving in my car and a man comes on the radio telling me more and more about some useless information. Supposed to drive my imagination. I can't get no. Hey, that's what I say. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction, but I try and I try and I try, Lord, I try. I can't get no when I'm watching my TV and a man comes on to tell me how white my shirts can be. But he can't be a man 'cause he doesn't smoke the same cigarettes as me. I can't get no. Hey, that's what I say. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no girl reaction, but I try and I try and I try, Lord, I try. I can't get no when I'm driving around the world and I'm doing this and I'm trying that and I'm trying to make some girl. You said maybe baby come back maybe next week, 'cause see I'm on a losing streak. I can't get no. Hey, satisfaction, no satisfaction. Hey.
Of course, Brian Jones was the guy that they actually said started the band, and it was his band originally, and they were very blues based, and as I said, and the writing is it started becoming more sophisticated. They started losing Brian to drugs. He wasn't showing up as much to a lot of rehearsals and to a lot of recordings, and it was sad to see, of course. And by the late '60s, he was pretty much gone, and they ended up having to replace him with Mick Taylor, and eventually Ronnie Woods, of course, who was with the Faces and Rod Stewart. Ronnie Wood, he would stay with the band from the mid '70s on to the present day. Yeah, and I'll tell you, if you just think about the Stones, they are, when you're starting a band, pretty much that's what it's all about. You know, you have your guitar, you have two guitars, you have a bass, you have the drums, you know, and if lucky enough you can have a piano player, you know, but the Stones were the epitome of that garage band sound, and as they grew, they just wrote countless songs that, in my opinion, some of the greatest songs. It's not even just my opinion, but it's cliche to say it. You know, they wrote some of the greatest songs in the history of rock and roll. And they were, you know, think of some of the songs. I'm talking Brown Sugar, Jumpin' Jack Flash. You know, just an amazing song. Paint It Black, and going to work. You know, work from their '70s, like It's Only Rock and Roll. You know, the Sticky Fingers album was one of the greatest albums of all time. You know, where you had like Wild Horses and Tumblin' Dice. You know, it's just, when you look back at the song book of the Rolling Stones, it just contains. It's almost like looking at a history of rock and roll. It's one of the best songbooks in the history of rock, and it's amazing to see that they are still functioning. You know, who would have thought that Keith Richards would be alive into his 80s? You know, and for my opinion, they're two of the greatest drummers of all time, are Ringo Starr and Charlie Watts. You know, because it fit my mode of music. I was always more of that simpler is better. You know, I love drummers that just weren't too busy, and they kept that steady beat, and they rocked the song. You know, when a great drummer gets into the groove with a great bass player, which Bill Wyman was, there's nothing better, in my opinion. And the Stones had that, and their songs just grooved and flowed, and they had provocative lyrics to go along with the great rhythms, you know. And Keith Richards was the riff master. You know, I don't know if anyone wrote better riffs than Keith. You know, if they did, it's a short list of people. So anyway, we're gonna play. I'm gonna do another song for you here right now. This one comes from the late '60s. Again, this is called "Let It Bleed." Great song, "Let It Bleed." Here we go.
Well, we all need someone we can lean on, and if you want it, you can lean on me. And we all need someone we can lean on, and if you want it, you can lean on me. She said, took my herbs to jasmine tea. Well, you nabbed me in my dirty, faithless basement with that teenage junkie drunken up my company. Yeah, we all need someone we can feed on, and if you want it, you can feed on me. Take my arms, take my legs, oh baby, don't you take my head, baby. Oh yeah, you say you're dreaming alright, bleeding alright, bleeding alright, you can bleed all over me, bleeding alright, woo, bleeding alright, yeah, bleeding alright, you can bleed all over me. Well, we all need someone we can bleed on, and if you want it, you can bleed on me.
To me, with this episode, I didn't want to bore you with this, a lot of stats and history. There's been so many documentaries about the Rolling Stones, so pretty much everybody knows their story. It's been told over and over and over again. But I really just wanted more to focus on like what they meant to me, and hopefully what they meant to you guys, anyone watching this video. Feel free to leave a comment down below. And I haven't asked you already if you give us a like and a subscribe. I love making these videos for you. It would really help out a lot if you would do that for me, and hit that bell icon as well to get notified anytime I make a new video. Now, and talking about that, this will be our second last video for season 3 of Hanging with Hastings. Going to make one more video with my buddy Tom Joyce. Next week we're going to discuss our top 5 all-time favorite songs, and it's going to be a fun episode, but it's going to be a really hard one because, man, I've listened to so much music in my life, and I love so many songs, and trying to narrow it down to 5 is going to be almost impossible, but I'm going to give it a shot. And Tommy emailed me earlier and said that he has his 5 picked already, so I have to get to work on mine, and it's going to be tough. So that'll be next week, where we will talk about our top 5 songs, and then I'm going to take the rest of the summer off from Hanging with Hastings, because our honestly, my wife and I, our schedule is so busy, so intense for the next couple months, that it's going to be it's going to be hard to try to come up with more shows for you. So I will rest up the Hanging with Hastings, and season 4 we're going to come back and talk about the Buffalo Bills a lot with Tommy Joyce. We are going to be documenting the final season at the stadium at Highmark, Rich Stadium, the Ralph, whatever you want to call it. It's the final season for the Buffalo Bills playing there. We did a show in Orchard Park yesterday, and I saw the new stadium, and it almost looks like you're looking at a roller coaster. It looks like it's going to be an incredible stadium. But I'm going to be sad when it closes up, when they close up Highmark, because I have so many great memories there with my family, and so that's going to be season 4. But as we finish off with season 3 and finish talking about the Rolling Stones again, as I said, there was no better frontman than Mick Jagger, no better riff master than Keith Richards, and one of my all-time favorite drummers was Charlie Watts. And when you have a rhythm section like Bill Hyman, and in the later years Ronnie Wood in particular, they were called the greatest rock and roll band of all time for a reason. And it's hard to argue, and a lot of people said, they were more, they grew up, the Beatles were more the rough and tumble band because they grew up in rough Liverpool, and the Stones, they said, grew up with more privilege, but that the tough guy and the roughhouse act was just that, was more of an act. But if it was an act, man, they pulled it off better than anyone. And to me, they capture the spirit of rock and roll, because for me, rock and roll is not supposed to be pretty. It's not supposed to be, you're not supposed to be a role model in rock and roll. Rock and roll is supposed to be about rebellion. It's supposed to be about that fire inside you, and letting loose of everything, of all restrictions, and to be able to be who you are, act the way you want to act, and be taken seriously for who you are. And if somebody doesn't take you seriously, that's too bad for them, because you don't care. You're who you are. You're that free spirit. To me, that's rock and roll. And to me, probably no other band in the history of the art form captured it better than the Rolling Stones. So that's going to do it for this episode this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Just a shorter one, I know, but I just wanted to share some of my feelings about the Stones. Greatest rock band of all time, they say, and I'm not going to argue with it. We're going to close out with one of their great songs, their great anthem, You Can't Always Get What You Want. But until next time, guys, until we see you next week for our top 5 songs, take good care of each other, be well, be safe out there, and hey, again, give us a like and a subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon so you can get notified when we have our new episodes. So until next week, guys, take good care, and you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you get what you need. See you, folks.
I saw her today at the reception, a glass of wine in her hand. I knew she was gonna be a connection, and her fee was a loose man. Yeah, you can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. No, you can't always get what you want. If you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. Oh yeah, yeah, baby. Well, I went down to the Delta drugstore to get your prescription filled. I was standing in line with Mr. Jimmy, a man that said he felt pretty ill. We decided we would have a soda, my favorite flavor, cherry red. I played my song to my friend Jimmy. Whoa. You said one word to me and that was dead. I said, Jimmy, you can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. Woo. You can't always get what you want. If you try sometime, you just might find you get what you need. Oh yeah. you need.